Welcome to United Network News, the official news channel for CARE, the Center for Amity and Restoration of Earth. I'm Sunny Galt. At UNN, you get the real news. Through our field messengers, we show you the truth about what's really taking place in our communities. We also bring you stories to help you remember who you are and why you're here, as well as regional stories that impact the people. And our World Situation Report reveals what's happening throughout the multiverse. We are here to restore Earth. In the U.S., it is Monday, June 3rd, 2024. A new parking initiative in Victoria, Australia is causing issues for visitors and local businesses. Learn more about the controversy and its impact. Imagine having everything you need within a short walking distance from your home. This is the concept behind 15-minute cities. But is the basic concept, without the control factor, really all that bad? We know that food is fuel for our bodies, and it's also a major contributor to our spiritual awakening. We've got some simple tips to help you prepare. Labor unions in Nigeria begin an indefinite strike today. So far, efforts to create a new minimum wage with the government have failed. And a new study shows student loan debt in the U.S. is making it increasingly difficult for people to save for retirement.
This is Calen Giff, messenger for United Network News. Here's a look at today's field messenger reports from all around the world. Mornington in Victoria, Australia is known for its scenic beauty and vibrant local culture. The town is now facing turmoil due to a controversial digital parking initiative affecting businesses, residents, and visitors. UNN Field Messenger Natalie covers the new system's impact on the community.
This is UNN Field Messenger Natalie reporting from Mornington on the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria, Australia. Today I will explore the impact of a new parking fee initiative that has caused uproar in the local community. It's a new initiative implemented by the local council to raise revenue. Mornington is a scenic town located roughly an hour's drive from Melbourne and is a popular destination for tourists and locals. The town attracts many visitors because of its beautiful marina, beaches, coastal walking paths, parks and restaurants. Recently, the Mornington Local Council started a paid parking trial in the area. The cost to park is $6.20 per hour, and the parking system is completely digital. You need an up-to-date phone with access to the internet to be able to park. When you enter the area, CCTV cameras record your car registration, and you will be fined within 15 minutes if you haven't downloaded the app and paid. The parking signage is hard to find and it's confusing. Human rights groups have deemed the system inaccessible and legal action has commenced. The locals say that the parking system has severely impacted visitor numbers. A local restaurant owner reports a 35% decrease in customers. Let's take a look around Mornington on a Saturday when it's usually full of visitors. You'll notice from the footage that there are plenty of empty parking spots around the coastal road. This park that I'm showing you here has free barbecue facilities, bathrooms and a kids' play area. It's usually full of people, but today it's empty. I'm actually quite shocked to see it this empty. It feels a little eerie. I also visited the waterfront restaurants and there were hardly any people having lunch. I can see why local business owners are distressed. This parking issue has really upset the locals here in Mornington. They're struggling with how these new parking rules will impact their lives and work. Because of all the complaints and possible legal troubles, there might be some changes to the parking soon. I'll keep you updated. Thank you for watching.
Next, we explore the concept of the 15-minute city in Whistler, British Columbia, Canada. UNN Field Messenger Shawn explains how in Whistler, residents and visitors can shop, engage in outdoor activities, and dine, all without the need for a car.
My name is Shawn Peterson, and I am a field messenger for the United News Network, residing in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. Whistler is a perfect example of a 15-minute city done right. Picture a community where your car keys stay in your pocket because everything you need is just a short walk away. Last summer, I left my car parked and embraced walking around this beautiful town. I was struck by the simplicity and the joy of moving from shops to eateries and to outdoor adventures without once needing to turn an ignition. In Whispers and Corner, there's been a fair share of apprehension around the 15-minute city concept. Many fear that it spells the loss of freedom, with city controllers tightening their grip. However, Whistler shatters this misconception. A peace without the continual traffic noise, the ease of navigating without congestion, and the sense of community that emerges when you actually walk amongst neighbors and friends. It was an eye-opener. This small-town vibe offers more than charm. It promotes well-being and social interaction on every corner. Parents pushing strollers, kids on bikes, and sport enthusiasts relaxing on the park benches. And it isn't just some futuristic technology trapping us. The handy GPS is there to guide us along our walks, only enhancing our independence. Whistler is not an outlier, but a beacon of possibility. Positive experiences like mine are just anecdotes adding to a larger story where fear of oversight gives way to a vision of sustainable, connected living. Once again, this is Shawn Peterson signing off from beautiful British Columbia.
We want you to become a UNN field messenger. These are everyday people just like you who want to make a difference in their community. You don't need any special training or equipment. Just use the camera on your mobile phone and show us what's happening in your area. You send us your videos and our production team will create the report for you. Our new website is now up and running at unitednetwork.earth. You can submit your Field Messenger reports directly through the Field Messenger tab at the top of the page. You can also email your reports to our new email address at fieldmessenger@unitednetwork.earth.
Hey, I'm Kirsten from Switzerland.
This is Wayne from Tucson.
Hi, my name is Desmond from Ghana.
I am Claudia from Dawsonville, Georgia.
I'm Mikey from Pretoria, South Africa.
Hi, I'm Steve McGrath, Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada.
People from all around the world are coming together.
Happy day, beautiful world. We are here in a rather small urban garden, and this video is just to show you the joys that we've had in this garden with electric gardening.
When news happens in their area, they show us what's really going on.
We have people in the streets protesting for and against.
At United Network News, our field messengers are changing the face of news.
This is Field Messenger Helen reporting with nature, and I'm going to talk to you about the bees again.
Take the next step in restoring our planet. Become a UNN Field Messenger today.
Hi, I'm Stephanie from South Africa. If it's going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to me. It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to all of us. We're UNN, and we're taking back the news.
The food we eat greatly impacts everything within our bodies, but it affects us spiritually as well. Eating foods that are artificial and loaded with toxins will also limit our spiritual awakening. Pam Stillwell-Boone is an osteopath, kinesthesiologist, and holistic mind, body, spirit coach. Today, Pam has some simple tips to help prepare our bodies for the spiritual journey ahead of us. So let's talk about food today. Pam is joining us again. And Pam, there's different ways to look at food. I think most of us have heard that expression that food is fuel, but this can also help with our whole awakening process. So can you break this down for us a bit?
Sure. So it is a good question, and there's different ways of looking at it. So we have to feel good. So the body needs a balance of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So I think we all understand that that is important. But what do we choose, right? What do we want to feel? Do we want to have bigger muscles, or do we want to have a better awakening, which means being awakened in your head, not so much in your mind? It depends on what you're looking for, okay? We all need carbohydrates, but carbohydrates should not be processed. And that is the easiest way, guys. When you go to a grocery store, stay on the outside of the grocery store. Don't go in and get all processed, box this, process that, because that is where there's a lot of chemicals, and those chemicals, heavy metals, lymphatic system, you will be foggy in your brain. Okay, hands down, you are not going to feel good. So I tell people when you go to a grocery store or you grow your own food, that's the best way. You want to focus on your fruits and vegetables, of course, but grains, whole grains, things that come from the earth versus things that were made. Okay, so that's the easiest way. 3 meals a day, to be simple, is easy. And you look at your 3 meals, and the first meal of the day should be the biggest, and the smallest meal of the day should be the last, because our metabolism changes. We're revved up in the morning, and then after 2 or 3 o'clock, we're starting to slow down. Yeah. So whatever you eat at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock is hard to digest. So you don't want to be eating your big, big, big things. Okay? But again, if we look into spirituality and we look into what's going to make us feel mind, body, spirit healthy, our foods should be grown from us if we can. Okay? You want to look at your fruits and vegetables. You want to have so many colors. And then I'm going to say this. I am almost completely vegan, and it's not because I'm telling people to do that, is that there's energy in everything, right? And if you were eating a lot of animals, you're eating energy from another thing. And I can't do it anymore. I think it's because I'm really evolving, and I can't. My soul won't let me do that. Now, there's ways to get your protein. It doesn't have to be meat-based. You can put lentils and barley. There's different ways to get your protein. However, we don't need as much protein as we were told. And I've competed in fitness. I've done figure competitions. I was protein. And I don't eat protein like that anymore. And I am as lean as I was when I was competing. Because what I do is how I feel. Now, that's important to you guys, is what we eat. Do we feel good? Do I feel empowered? Do I have energy? Or do I feel sluggish and I feel like I want to have a nap? Well, there's something in your body that you're not digesting. Are you having diarrhea after you eat? Well, you're not digesting something. So I'm all about, how do you feel? You make 3 meals a day with a whole bunch of colors. You try to get a lot of fruits and vegetables in there. In the morning, you take your fist, and that could be a protein, okay? And I think that is a big protein. So in the morning, you don't have to get that big, which means I like shakes a lot of times. I mean, I'm drinking protein shakes. I'm busy like you. It's quick. I get all my fuel, and I'm a juicer. I juice my vegetable. In the afternoon, oh my goodness, I put everything in, and I juice it. And there's beets, lemons, carrots are phenomenal. So that way, the cleaner that you eat, the better fuel you're giving to your body, the more intuition that you're going to awaken. And I think all of us want to feel physically happy and strong, but we also want to be intuitively strong in the brain. And the healthier that you are, and a lot of us want to awaken, is going to help us remember who we really are and awaken to the spirituality that we're all looking for.
Yeah. Can I ask one follow-up question about that chart, that pyramid chart, which it's a pyramid? That should probably be our first indication that it may not be exactly what we're supposed to be eating. But you know what I'm talking about, right? That food chart that has all those different levels. Is there any truth to that, or is that just off the wall silly?
It's off the wall silly. Like, I mean, I know, like I don't want
I figured.
Like, there's a lot of stuff on the charts, and I'm like, no, it's we're going to be honest, it's not to make us healthy.
Yeah.
It's to make us dependent on certain things that we shouldn't be dependent on. And that's the easiest way. And when you don't understand, you're going to follow that, and people aren't going to feel good, but they follow it anyway.
Amazing.
Yep.
Oyster reefs serve a crucial role by providing habitats for marine life and protecting shorelines from erosion. In the United States, several projects are dedicated to recycling oyster shells collected from restaurants. These shells, also known as shucks, are repurposed for local reef restoration efforts. Oyster populations along the U.S. coasts have suffered declines due to overharvesting, pollution, and disease. The collected shells undergo a 6-month sun baking process before being placed in biodegradable cotton bags and relocated to reef sites. Each oyster can filter up to 15 gallons of water daily, and their larvae often attach to hard surfaces, particularly preferring oyster shells. Volunteers carry the shell-filled bags into the seas, and research indicates that oysters and other marine life are thriving in these recycled habitats. Recycling oyster shells not only saves restaurants money and supports sustainability, but also provides tax benefits. Since 2009, these programs have restored 45 acres of reef. The restored reefs offer a safe breeding ground for oysters, fish, crabs, and other marine life while stabilizing the shoreline, thereby benefiting the entire community. In Manchester, England, volunteers have planted more than 1 million moss cuttings to restore a peat bog at the Dovestone Reservoir. This 12-year project has rejuvenated the bare peat bog, say that 5 times fast, or wetlands around the reservoir, one plant at a time. Before this effort, the lack of native vegetation caused dirty streams and increased flood risks, eroding nearby roads. To address this, volunteers from the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds and United Utilities worked tirelessly in all weather conditions to reach this milestone. With more than 45,000 volunteer hours, they have transformed the area back to its original state. Reclaiming the bogs have boosted the local ecosystem, attracting birds, amphibians, and mountain hares. This cooperative effort highlights the remarkable impact of restoring natural landscapes in often overlooked areas. In eastern Kenya, residents have long struggled with water scarcity. In 2012, they found a unique solution: the rock catchment system. This method harvests rainwater from natural stone formations standing hundreds of feet high. With assistance from the Africa Sand Dam Foundation, villagers build concrete walls around these massive rocks to trap rainwater. The water is filtered by the stones and then flows into storage tanks and collection points. This innovative system has drastically reduced the time spent fetching water from just 2 hours to just 30 minutes. The new reliable water source has also boosted agricultural productivity. With trees bearing more fruit and cows producing more milk, this community-led project showcases how nature can be harnessed to improve lives. While offering a sustainable answer for those living with water scarcity, the once overlooked rocks are now seen as invaluable resources. We are United Network News. Every day, we release real stories from real people all over the world.
Field Messenger reporting from Gold Coast, Australia,
Denmark,
Canada,
Uganda,
from Atlanta, in Southern California.
In their own words, people like you share what's really happening in their area. At UNN, you are the news. You are creating a new world with infinite possibilities. You are the restoration plan. Come join us for the real news every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, only on United Network. We're UNN, and we're taking back the news. Nigeria's main labor unions have announced an indefinite strike beginning today due to the government's failure to agree on a new minimum wage. The unions had warned they would strike if a new wage was not settled by the end of May. They criticized the government for failing to improve on their initial wage offer and for missing a scheduled meeting to discuss the issue. The union stated the strike would continue until a new minimum wage is established and also demanded a reversal of a recent electricity tariff hike. They have called for relief measures for households and small businesses, particularly following the removal of the fuel subsidy by the president. a decision that significantly increased fuel costs and strained public finances. The people of Sudan are facing an urgent risk of famine as the war between the army and the paramilitary rapid support forces exceeds 1 year. Already, 18 million people are experiencing severe hunger, with 3.6 million children acutely malnourished. Nearly 5 million individuals are on the brink of famine, struggling amid bombings and displacement, and they also have limited access to aid. Fighting began in the country's capital in April of 2023 and spread nationwide, aggravating ethnic violence in Darfur and leading to the world's largest displacement crisis. Volunteers are distributing food to those affected, yet immediate and significant efforts are needed to avert a massive famine. Officials warned failing to take quick action could result in famine overtaking large areas of the country. In the UK, half of those on universal credit are losing money from their payments due to automatic deductions by the Department for Work and Pensions. The New Economics Foundation reports claimants are losing money to repay debts to private landlords, utility companies, and to correct tax office errors. On average, households with deductions lose £63, which is equal to $80 per month, resulting in £1.3 billion or $1.6 billion in lost benefit support in 2022 to 2023. Deductions vary regionally and have left many struggling to meet essential costs. The foundation argues these deductions trap households in debt and worsen their mental and physical health. The Department for Work and Pensions claims deductions are capped at 25% and used as a last resort to help clear debt. The number of patients experiencing delayed discharges from NHS mental health units in England has peaked at its highest levels in 8 years. In March, there were more than 49,500 days of delays, preventing new admissions from receiving care. Patients ready to leave but stuck in the hospital face significant setbacks in rebuilding their lives. A major cause is waiting for care home placements or supported housing. This situation affects their mental health recovery and blocks beds needed by new patients. Experts say insufficient community and social care resources are to blame, with more funding needed to fix the issue. This delays recovery and puts extra pressure on mental health services. Coroners have warned the Department of Health about this critical impact, citing cases of suicide linked to bed shortages. A new law banning alcohol sales in Iraq is having severe implications for the country's minority communities. The legislation, perceived as targeting Christians and Yazidis, has led to increased immigration and economic decline. Iraqi Christians who were beginning to return after recent stability are now seeking asylum again. The law allows arrests of priests for wine used in mass, effectively stripping away their rights. Yazidis face similar challenges, with many relying on alcohol sales for their livelihood. The ban has caused shop owners to lose millions in investments and face prison risks for transporting alcohol. Additionally, Kurdistan's approach of selectively enforcing the law has created economic disparities and increased alcohol prices. The situation has even led to a rise in drug use, viewed as a religiously acceptable alternative. People in central Tokyo are protesting to show their opposition to the World Health Organization's revision of the International Health Regulations, a treaty related to the COVID-19 vaccination. As a result of their gathering on Friday, a member of parliament expressed deep regret over the loss of lives due to the pandemic and offered a heartfelt apology for the perceived mishandling. A university professor criticized the lack of proper public information and raised concerns about the government's tendency to ask for obedience without transparency. A participant voiced his personal dissent against blindly following government directives. Post-rally, protesters marched through the Ginza district, calling for opposition to the international health regulations revision and urging the government to investigate vaccine-related harm. In China, open-source internet tools are becoming essential for bypassing censorship, allowing users to access blocked websites and services. V2Ray, among the most popular, is part of a broader array of technologies, including proxy servers and VPNs, designed to anonymize internet traffic. Tools like Tor and Lantern's Unbounded project leverage crowdsourcing to provide free internet access despite government restrictions. Platforms like Siphon have seen rising usage during protests and political upheaval, notably in Iran, Cuba, Myanmar, and Russia. Due to repression in those areas, these tools often spread through word of mouth or guerrilla-style advertising. Despite accusations of being espionage tools backed by entities like the CIA, many of these programs are supported by the U.S.-funded Open Technology Fund, which emphasizes the security and transparency of open-source solutions. Japan is witnessing a significant shift toward freelancing, driven by societal and economic changes. The country's strong safety nets, including universal health care, mitigate the risks associated with freelancing. Tight regulations on gig work, such as the restricted use of ride-hailing services, also offer protection. Freelancing is transforming the productivity of white-collar workers by freeing them from corporate bureaucracy. However, there are challenges, such as higher mortgage interest rates for freelancers and the need for an educational shift toward promoting independence and creativity. The younger generation is increasingly embracing freelancing, leveraging social media to market their skills. Recognizing freelancing is a viable career path, and it could unlock Japan's potential despite the shrinking labor force. The U.S. maritime industry is struggling with significant workforce shortages, affecting both the at-sea and shoreside sectors. Efforts to grow the U.S. flag fleet and improve job opportunities for mariners include the launch of a web-based career portal, but challenges remain in filling positions. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is actively recruiting mariners, offering bonuses to attract marine engineers and able seafarers. These staffing gaps are not confined to the maritime sector alone. Shipbuilding and repair facilities face similar issues. A shortage of skilled workers, such as welders, machinists, and electricians, is causing delays in shipbuilding and acquisition programs for the Coast Guard and Navy. Experts highlight the industry's aging workforce and low visibility as major challenges. Low pay and harsh working conditions deter potential recruits, worsening the problem and impacting operations across the industry. Millions of older Americans are struggling to save for retirement due to unpaid student loan debt. New research indicates more than 2.2 million people 55 and older have outstanding student loans. Lower income older workers carry the largest debt burdens, leading to tough choices between saving for retirement and paying off those loans. The study found those who did not complete their degrees were at greater financial risk. Experts suggest policies such as loan forgiveness, easier repayment options, and protecting Social Security benefits from garnishment to alleviate these burdens. Critics argue forgiving student debt shifts the financial burden to the government. The proposal to safeguard Social Security benefits is gaining traction, with an increasing number of lawmakers advocating for its implementation. Also in the U.S., rising property taxes are causing concern amongst homeowners in several states. Kansas lawmakers have tried to pass measures to reduce the state's property tax levy for schools, but each effort was vetoed over broader tax cut concerns. Vermont's governor may veto a bill proposing a nearly 14% property tax hike for school funding, arguing residents can't handle such increases. Local governments set property tax rates, but state legislatures can impose limits and exemptions for relief. Recent property tax hikes in Georgia have sparked protests, and a proposed ballot measure aims to cap assessed value increases to the rate of inflation. Colorado has faced similar issues with efforts to balance residential and commercial tax rates while maintaining essential services funding. The online food delivery sector in the U.S. and Europe is facing significant financial challenges as investors shift their focus from growth to profitability. Rising interest rates and high operating costs have forced companies like DoorDash, Uber, and Deliveroo to prioritize free cash flow over previously used metrics. The sector is under scrutiny from regulators and labor groups over workers' rights, with concerns that higher wages for couriers would make food delivery unaffordable for consumers. Recent years have seen consumers continue to use these services despite fewer discounts and higher inflation, but long-term growth has slowed post-pandemic. Many companies are now diversifying with ventures into grocery delivery and advertising. However, substantial losses and write-downs from past acquisitions complicate the financial picture, impacting the company's bottom lines. The Australian government has confirmed drones have been used to photograph the residences of former immigration detainees released after a high court ruling. The drones reportedly monitor accommodations to ensure they are not near sensitive locations rather than tracking the detainees themselves. The 151 ex-detainees, many with criminal records, were given new visas with specific conditions, including curfews and electronic monitoring. However, fewer than half are subject to these measures. This has raised public safety concerns, especially after a recent violent incident involving a former detainee without an ankle bracelet. Conflicting statements from officials have added to this confusion, with some claiming drones are solely for mapping residential locations, while others dispute this. This lack of clarity has led to criticism and demands for greater accountability from the authorities. Cafes and restaurants in Australia are adapting to changing consumer habits due to rising living costs and inflation. During weekdays, people are cutting back on spending by making their coffee at home and bringing their own lunches to work. Meanwhile, weekends see an increase in dining out, where many are still seeking special experiences like brunches. Cafes are adjusting by starting evening services and offering meals and deals, during off-peak hours. Businesses are facing higher costs, particularly energy bills, but are hesitant to raise prices further. To adjust, some venues are resorting to various strategies like happy hours, weeknight specials, and early bird prices to attract customers. People are gravitating toward more affordable dining options, such as fast food and supermarket brands during the week. We have an exciting new announcement. We have launched a new global TV service specifically for the UNN community. Thousands of live TV channels, 60,000 movies on demand, over 30 languages, and live sports from around the globe. Between all the separate streaming services and cable for live TV and sports packages, it can cost well over $200 a month. But now with United TV, you can have it all for only $15.99 a month. Go to unitedtv.org and check it out. Get so much more for so much less.
Want to share news from UNN? Help us change the face of social media and use it for good. Connect with us through our online channels. Our social media team creates clips from each newscast you can easily share with people you care about. That's also where you'll find our UNN meme of the day, a great way to encourage critical thinking. Links to all our social media sites are available at the bottom of our website at unitednetwork.earth. Let's change the face of news together.
There is no world situation report today, but we do have a quick update from Kimberly Gogan from the Office of the Guardian. Kim is in the middle of some momentous positive changes happening for humanity and our planet. We will have a full report for you on Wednesday. As for the deep state, operative meetings have been going on in Durango and other parts of the world, and a lot of new information has come to light that was held back from them. The majority now have an understanding of what has gone wrong and why no one is getting paid. All but 6 people are ready to move forward. Those 6 are Trump operatives. No surprise there. Their current plan is to take the $200 million they collected from patriots in the USA that was sent in support of the former president, especially since his recent guilty verdicts. That was until they woke up this morning with the entire Van Kemp family fortune missing. Now, if you are new to us, Van Kemp was the founding family name and also Trump family's real name, the Order of the Black Sun. The reversal of all the Black Sun cash networks and the Order of the Dragon network cash has led to a sharp decline of 99.97% in the stock of Berkshire Hathaway. Warren Buffett, a well-known bagman for the order, has been told by the deep state that they will fix it, while the public is being told it is just a glitch. You can expect to see several other well-known cabal-owned corporation stocks tank in the coming days, unless the deep state has enough cyber power to fake the numbers. Now that wraps up today's news update. Please share UNN with your friends and family. We need everyone to come together and help restore our planet. When news happens in your area, record and share it with us so together we can share it with the world. Remember, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I'm Sunny Galt. Join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the real news.